Sayın katılımcılar, bizleri Türkiye'den dinleyen katılımcılarımız, ben kısaca Türkçe olarak bir anons yapmak istiyorum. Buradan sonra eğer bir maniniz yoksa İngilizce devam edeceğim. Konuklarımızın hepsi Hindistan'dan katılıyor. Dil olarak da bir sıkıntı, problem olmaz diye düşünüyorum. Sorularınız varsa chat part'tan toplu bir şekilde teker teker olmadan yazabilirsiniz. Bizler takip ediyor olacağız. Teşekkür ediyorum. Esteemed guests from India and Turkey, good afternoon. This is Aysun Timur. I'm the Commercial Counselor of Turkey. This is my third year in this beautiful country, and I'm always ready to help Turkish and Indian business circles during my time. Today we are holding the third edition of our online sector-specific talks, along with the representatives from Turkey and India. In the previous ones, we had many invaluable representatives of domestic companies with an aim of explaining the ground rules and procedures in establishing entities in India on sectoral base. Today, we have another chapter in home textile, furnishing and appliances with many distinguished guests from the sector again. We are thankful that they have spared their valuable time and attend this meeting. My colleague from Mumbai, Mr. Hussein Aydin, is going to take the lead and introduce everyone. Before this, allow me to cover some points very quickly. We all know that India has always been a big producer, supplier, and one of the largest resource pools of labor, of course, raw materials, retail giants, and countless startups. Especially nowadays, India is more competitive, digitalized, self-reliant, remote, and integrated into global supply chain more than ever. The pandemic has severely affected world economies for sure. We had an unfortunate time last year in our social and professional lives. But on the other hand, big disasters also bring big opportunities, shifts and turns. Despite all challenges, this year is a correct time for collaboration for Turkish and Indian business circles. In home textile sector, we can leverage our partnership and turn our advantages into mutual benefits. Turkey needs to present excellent quality products more to Indian people, Indian society, but also in a patient and consistent way and through proper channels. Now I want to leave the floor to Mr. Tevfik Dönmez, Chairman of Turkey-India Business Council from the I hope we will have an efficient meeting today and discussions as well. Thank you for joining us today. Thank you. Yes, Mr. Tevfik Dönmez.
Okay. Thank you, Ms. Aysun Timur. Dear participant, good afternoon for Turkey, good evening for India, our friends. This is speaking Mr. Tevfik Dönmez, Turkey-India Business Council Chairman, and representing Asia Pacific Business Council Foreign Economic Relation Board under Ministry of Trade. So we are together, we are very happy, and we look for a interesting view of trade today. So we will issue and we will open new gates to India and new windows to Turkey, and we will meet at a very meaningful setting. Thank you too much. Really special thanks to Ms. Aysun Timur, Commercial Council in New Delhi, and also Mr. Hussein Aydin in Commercial Attaché in Mumbai. Really this meaningful webinar, we are thankful to them. I am very also pleased to be with Mr. Arun, Mr. Ashish, Mr. Rajiv, Mr. Steram, and our good partners in India. Really, I would like to very, very short information about the foreign economic relation representing the gateway of Turkish private sector to the world. So it was founded in 1985, and right now 146 business council. Right now we are in serve of business among the countries. India, you know, is very big economy, and surprisingly this year the most growing country economy in last year, despite COVID-19. Everybody noticed the difference, especially last year. And so it's good time to issue India and Turkey business relation. If we come to the point of home and kitchen market of India, really very big chances for both sides. Glassware products, glass tumblers, also everyday glasses mostly used in daily life. And also big trend to the city, especially in India. You know, from village to city, in 2040, it should be more than half of the population will be in cities. So there will be huge demand in India. And where is the economy of Turkey? Turkey, businessman, investor, and exporter should be as soon as possible go in the market, while there is no big, so much main actor players in India. So it's a good time. I congratulate our Trade Ministry Department, especially for this meaningful webinar. Online shopping, e-commerce, Amazon India, and many other channels right now make our business easy. So Diwali festival, marriage occasional, many things. There are a lot of opportunity. Right now, our business is easier than before. So Italian, especially British, especially right now in India, they are coming to make in India. So they know the potential, and they are very expensive cost they are serving to India. So our Turkish home furniture especially, we are very competitive. While Italian cost 1,500, Turkish producer make the same issue $500. So there is a big gap between Europe and Turkey. Turkey is good at this, especially home furniture. I mean exclusive furniture. So, but unfortunately, I should say here, Asia Pacific, our percent, only 1% even not in Asia Pacific of Turkish market, especially home furniture and kitchen market. So we should develop as soon as possible. We should do more webinar like this, and especially furniture, very popular. Homemade furniture is very popular. For our exporter and producer, I would like to say each state in India should be issued separately and analyzed in good order, not only for marketing anything to India, but also being a partner and joint venture. You should focus on in India, then the success comes later. Anyway, I really I observe the big opportunity, especially. I am just speaking from Konya city, mystic city of Turkey. Right now I am in Konya, and I know Konya, Kayseri, Gaziantep cities, they are very good at home furniture and kitchen market. So I would like to also from our side, we will take them to India. To make in India, not only selling any product, just to some extent, I would like to finalize my speech, but I know this webinar should open new doors, new windows to both friend country, India and Turkey. Thank you too much for your time consideration and listening me patiently. Thank you.
Herkese merhabalar. Dear Chairman of Turkey-India Business Council, Mr. Tevfik Dönmez, dear Commercial Consular of Turkish Embassy in Delhi, Mrs. Aysun Ergezer Timur, distinguished speakers, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the webinar on Home and Kitchen Market of India. My name is Hüseyin Aydın, and I'm the Commercial Attaché of the Turkish Consulate General in Mumbai since June 2019. It gives me great pleasure to extend to you all welcome thanks to participate to the webinar. And we are very thankful to HH India, that is one of the most important exhibition in the related sectors across India market, for their cooperation with our office, and thanks to our all speakers from very established Indian companies which have sustainable business with Turkey for so many years. Today, Mr. Arun Rumta, Managing Director of HH India, Mr. Ashish Dhingra, Managing Director of Envom Furnishing Private Limited Company, Mr. Rajiv Merchant, President Retail of Indocount Industries Limited Company, and Mr. Saram Kumar, Senior Vice President and Business Head, Home Center India, are with us to share their valuable information on the Indian market, which some Turkish companies find very difficult to enter and to be successful. That is why we have decided to organize this webinar with the kind cooperation of our speakers in order to raise the awareness of our Turkish companies into Indian home and kitchen market. We have organized 2 different webinars on India market so far, trying to show all participants India market in a very realistic and practical way with the kind contributions of the distinguished speakers. In the first webinar we made in June last year, we discussed doing business in India and making branding in India, including import procedures in the country. And the second webinar in October last year was about Indian IT industry and how Turkish IT companies can cooperate with Indian IT companies. The record of the webinars are available on YouTube channel of the Turkish Ministry of Trade. And in today's webinar, we will focus on home and kitchen market of India. The webinar's presentation has been divided into different segments from the trade figures of the relevant categories to understand the main trends in the market with consumer perspective and to sourcing from Turkey as an importer and a retailer. After the presentation, Mr. Arun will ask further sector-related questions to the speakers, and lastly, we will have question and answer session from the participants. Dear participants, you can write your questions in the chat screen. We will try to cover questions as much as possible if the time allows. We would like you to forward us sector-specific questions in general sense. This webinar is targeting to raise the awareness of Turkish companies into India market rather than being a proper B2B event. I hope this webinar is going to be an efficient communication way between Turkish companies and Indian companies and the Indian market. Now, I am giving the floor to Mr. Arun and our distinguished speakers. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Aydin. I would first of all like to thank Ms. Aydin, Ms. Aysen, and the entire Turkish government for inviting us, giving us this opportunity, which I think is a very useful opportunity to bring the Indo-Turkish trade to the next level, and also to make our friends on both sides understand, and especially the Turkish exporters understand the complexities and the opportunities of the Indian market. As I was listening already to the chairman of the Indo-Turkish Business Council and Ms. Aysen, very rightly said that India and Turkey are very natural partners. We have a lot of things in common. We have a lot of friendship and cultural togetherness. But I think we need to take it beyond that, and we need to convert it into a larger business partnership. As I was working on this presentation, it was very evident that we need to do more as far as business is concerned. Turkey needs to do much more with India. India needs to buy more. Turkey needs to sell more. But I think it is important for the Turkish companies to understand the structure of Indian market, the retail scenario, the Indian consumer, and how is it different from rest of the world. Because India is a country of 1.3 billion people, and a country that large cannot be dealt with like one more market out of 200. right? There are not many countries in the world who have 17-18% of the world population within the one country. So we will get into those details, but before that, I would like to introduce my panel of speakers today, who have been very, very kind to give this their time today. As I was discussing, in fact, this whole webinar, the way it came up, we were in a meeting with Mr. Aydin, and he came up with this whole suggestion out of nowhere. Out of nowhere, I would say that why don't we do this webinar? And we kind of fructified in no time. And that also told me the speed at which we can actually decide progress if we decide to progress. So this webinar itself is a very good example that if somebody takes initiative, how fast India-Turkish relationships can progress. I would like to introduce my speakers today. First of all, Rajiv Merchant we have here, who's president of Indocount Industries and has almost 3 decades of experience in the Indian market, launching brands, launching products. Also in the home sector alone, he has been for about 20 years. And so he carries a very, very valuable experience. He's also been involved into imports of products and then selling them under their own brands, primarily in the business of bed linen and bed and bath category, but also generally in home, also in houseware category, because he's also been distributor for products like Coral in the Indian market. So he carries our Umrah from Canada. So he has all those experiences in his history. Then we have with us Mr. Ashish Dhingra, who will speak after Rajiv Merchant. Mr. Rajiv Merchant actually is going to introduce us and give us an overview of the entire Indian market as he sees what the Indian consumer looks like, what is the retail structure in India, what are the peculiarities of dealing with the Indian market. All these subjects you can understand from Mr. Rajiv Merchant. And then Mr. Sitaram Kumar, who's Senior Vice President, Landmark Group, Home Center, and he has a great experience in sourcing as well as marketing home products. Home Center, as you know, I think all of you must be dealing with them in one way or the other, because an international Landmark Group is an international group in retail. And Mr. Sitaram Kumar heads that business in India. So he's a very, very long experience. So you will hear from him his experience in dealing with Turkey as a retailer. And Mr. Ashish Dhingra, Managing Director of Invoke Furnishing, he is going to talk to us about his experience as an importer. Mr. Dhingra is one of the largest importers of carpets from Turkey. He has been dealing with Turkey for almost 2 decades and has a very wide experience in importing from Turkey, selling those products in India under his own brand, Obsessions, which is a very, very popular brand in India, sold through more than 1,000 retail stores across the country. So we have a very distinguished panel, I must say. And we have divided today's presentation into 4 parts. First, I'm going to introduce the overall situation of trade between India and Turkey as on today, primarily with the focus on home and kitchen category. Because of course there can be other categories, but today's subject is home and kitchen, so we are going to focus there. And after that, Rajiv will follow with an overview of the Indian market. And then Mr. Dhingra is going to talk about the importer's perspective. And finally, we have Mr. Sitaram Kumar. So I would begin with my presentation, who's going to talk about a retailer's perspective. So I would like to share my screen now with the audience. So, as we said that the topic for today's webinar is Home and Kitchen Market of India, and it is being presented into 4 parts, which is I already introduced those 4 parts to you, and now I will come to my presentation. So I'm going to be talking to you about overall import scenario in India and the import scenario between Turkey and India. So let us take a look. We all believe, I think, that India and Turkey are great natural allies, that we have similarity in cuisine, in language, in hospitality. People are very warm and kind on both sides. We love music. We love Bollywood. We travel to each other as tourists. And I think I myself have been traveling to Turkey for almost now. I must have been there more than, I think, I do not know. I lost count. So many different trips for different reasons. So I understand Turkey. I've always enjoyed every bit of it, every time I've been there. So I can very well understand the kind of similarities India and Turkey have in a lot of areas. So it should have been very natural that we grew our business ties beyond what it looks like today, as you will see in the graph, in the bar charts as we go along. So we also have, so we need to really make an attempt to explore our business relationships better. Now let us take a look why I'm saying that we need to make our business relationship better. Because you look at this slide and you can very clearly see that out of India's total imports of 284 million US dollars. This I'm talking of only home textiles, not all the products. So this is only, so please see it in that perspective. So India's total import in year 2018-19 was 284 million. And out of that, Turkish share was only 8 million, which was just about 3%. And if you look at that 3% even more carefully, major part of it is coming only from carpets, which is almost 90% of that supplies. That means in all other categories, Turkish imports, exports to India have been very, very minimal. If you look at even, there has been a saying always that, somehow there is a feeling in Turkey that Indians buy only Chinese products. I would like to clarify that here, that even if India is buying a lot of Chinese products, but almost 35 to 40% of India's imports are coming from non-Chinese sources. At least Turkey certainly has a very good opportunity to explore that market. But even if we look at that, I think we really see that Turkish numbers are really, really low. So I will take you to the next slide and then probably come back to this one. Here, now the previous slide was about India's imports of home textiles, but next slide is about India's overall imports of all products, not only textiles or home, but all categories put together. Now here, if you see that India's overall import, I'm leaving the year 2020 because of the COVID situation, but I'm leaving the year 2020, but if you take the 2019-20 figure, India's overall import was 474 billion. Out of that, Turkish share was only 2.1 billion, which is less than 0.5%. So you can imagine that how low Turkish share in India's import is. Out of India's total imports, 474 billion, Turkey supplied only 2 billion, or just 0.5% approximately, less than that. Now I go back to the previous slide. In home textiles, at least Turkish share was 3% out of India's import, which is much better than Turkish share in overall import. So this clearly tells us that Turkey can be very competitive in home textiles compared to other products in India. So a general feeling I've been told in Turkey is that India is producer of home textiles. So how can we export to India? Which is not really true. The opportunity is real. Here we take a look at the import duties on various home and kitchen category products. It varies between 15 to 25% on various products within home. And this is the same duty which is paid by imports from any other country. So it is not that India is imposing any special or additional duty on Turkish products. It is at par with whatever duty importers from other countries are paying. So this is just for your reference. These are the current duties, and this is subject to variation, as we know. Now I'm getting into segment-wise imports of India and what is Turkey's share. As you can see in these slides very clearly, machinery carpet or machine-made carpets is probably one of the best performing categories as far as Turkey's export to India are concerned. And all other categories, you see the bar is hardly visible. If you look at furniture, it's so small that you can hardly see it on the side of the blue bars. So, but the numbers are there. I'm sure you'll be able to refer to these numbers at ease. Here we look at the curtains and we look at tools and other net fabrics. So the numbers are there for you to take a look, and they speak for themselves. Look at the bed linen category. In fact, what I want to share here is that almost 50% of India's total home textile sales come from bed linen. Unlike many other countries where furnishing fabrics are a bigger shareholder in the market, in India, bed sheets and bed linen account for nearly 50% of India's overall sales of home textiles. And yet Turkish share is so low. So the opportunity here is very, very huge. Upholstery and blankets again. And if you see in every chart, every bar, India's overall imports are very big. So it is clear that it is not that India is not buying. India is obviously buying all these products, which probably many exporters in Turkey feel that since India is a producer, they may not be importing, which is not true. If you look at the blue bar everywhere, it is much, much higher than the Turkish bar everywhere. So obviously India is buying, but India is not buying from Turkey. And why? Those reasons we will get into later. Same is the situation with towels and bathrobes. Now, India has probably world's biggest manufacturers of towels and bathrobes, but the real question is, does it mean that Turkey cannot sell these products? I know a lot of friends who have been saying that, can you connect me to Turkish exporters, because we want to buy the kind of towels which India doesn't make and Turkey makes a lot of them. So this is the kind of question that we need to address. Then we look at metal and craftware, which is again a similar story, a lot of imports taking place. As a matter of fact, plastic houseware is an area where India is really becoming very, very competitive. It has invested a huge amount of money. So this is an area where probably Turkey may really find it little more difficult to export to India because of the competitiveness of the local industry, especially which has emerged in last 3-4 years. But otherwise, in all other categories, and here also there is a potential for specialized products, but not for general products. But other product categories, the market is very wide open. Glassware. India doesn't even have a decent large-scale glass factory to talk about, not even one. And yet, Turkish brands like Pashapashi and all have been present here for a long time. But there are still the growth should have been much, much higher than what it looks like, because the consumption of glassware in India is really growing. Ceramic and porcelain, similar situation. We are getting these products even from as far away as Italy and Germany and Czechoslovakia. So why not Turkey? I'm sure Turkey can be competitive there. Cutlery, again, the market is growing very rapidly in India, and it's a huge opportunity. And aluminium houseware and sanitary, this is again a very similar story. Appliance, I think, is a little more difficult area to enter, simply because I think appliances also need, in India, we have a concept of after sales service. That what if the appliance goes defunct? Who services it? So probably when you look at a partner in India in this category, you need to look at a partner who really would support after sales service, who has some technical infrastructure to support this. So, having looked at those numbers, now the question is that, is Turkey really missing the India opportunity? Because the numbers are really visible to you. India is buying, but Turkey is not selling too much quantity. Though Turkey is selling some quantity, but it can be easily done much more. And obviously, Turkey is exporting worldwide. So Turkey is a very, very export-oriented country. There is no doubt about that. It is very innovative in its products. It's very competitive in its prices, and it delivers good value for money to its buyers. I have personally observed that over the years. So I don't see any reason why Turkey should not be able to step into the Indian market. But in my opinion, why we will come to the more detailed discussion later. But this is the question right now, that why Turkish share is so low in India's imports in all the above categories that we saw, and why are Turkey's exporters to India are also so inconsistent. So we also seen in some years the export goes up and then it again comes down. That if you see the data, you will be able to see that. So why there is no consistency in Turkish exports to India? This is another question. And how can the Turkish exporters tap this opportunity? I'm sure my fellow speakers are going to talk about that as we go along. And most important, see, one thing is very clear: Indian market cannot be encashed, but Indian market certainly can be developed, and it can be developed in a lifetime opportunity. It's so big, but it takes time, effort, and cost. Now, whether Indian market is worth your time, effort, and cost is a key question that you have to ask yourself. That how big you can be at the end of 5 years or 7 years, rather than how big you can be in India at the end of 6 months or 1 year, or after showing in one show. You know, this is the key question that you need to answer, because India is not something which you can go and cash and get back home with a pocket full of dollars. It will take time to develop, which my friends are going to explain in more details. And so what are the actions required? They will also talk about that. And so we will have from here on the viewpoint of marketeer, importer, and retailer in that order. So I would like to thank you very much for listening to me. I think this is my part of the presentation. I would like to now invite Rajiv Merchant, who's going to take you through the understanding and overview of the Indian market, which includes the consumer and the retail scenario and the business scenario. So over to you, Rajiv. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Thank you, Arun. And good afternoon, everybody. I think it has been a fantastic platform for me to share my views. I will straight away get on to my presentation, not to take everybody's time. 1 minute, I'll just load it. I will go one step backward. and say, first of all, it is not Turkey or India. I think it is in general in business. What we say is that in a marketing, you look at outside in, not inside out. I think typically we say a manufacturer looks at inside out. This is what I make and how I can sell. I think a good marketeers, they look at consumers, they study them, they decide what to make to sell to them, and then engineer the product. I think we need probably that kind of approach in selling to Indian type of market, which has very different nuances. And the likes of Unilever to McDonald to everybody has come and invented new product categories for India. So I would just say, when Arun said you come and invest your time, efforts, I think that's the approach which might require, because it may not be ready to absorb ready products in the current form and maybe deliver the volume what all of you may be used to in some of the matured economies of the world. And I think we need to stay ahead. No problem. Thanks. So I think let's look at market from outside in, what market is, and then figure out what we can sell, how we can engineer the product for the better business opportunity. Secondly, I think in marketing, we always say your customer is spoiled for choices. But if you know your customer, you will never lose. If you don't know your customer, you don't deserve to win. I wanted to probably talk about a simple marketing language before I get into what Indian market is all about. And I think this basic principles of marketing, customers, economy, they hold valid even for Indian market. And that is what I would like to take you through quickly in this presentation. Some of the key factors about India: we are the youngest economy, global population. 65% of India is below 35 years of age, and that is making a very interesting, attractive opportunity if you have 15 years perspective. Just to give some more numbers, GDP, which was negative 7.5%, probably reduced from 23.5 in the COVID scenario. And with IMF and other forecasts, 2021 we are expected to grow at 11% with V-shaped recovery, and long-term projection for at least next decade is 7 to 8%, because there is a lot of scope to grow in India. Our government is trying to be $5 trillion economy by 2024. We have large urban population, which is increasing demand of lot of home category products, and we have multiple cities, increase in working women, increasing presence of international brands in India year after year. And I think our country is focusing on agriculture, manufacturing, infrastructure, energy, mining, service. And we already started first phase of COVID vaccination. So I think we are doing the fastest vaccination probably in the world as we speak right now. However, I think India is like continent to be treated like EU. It's not just one country. We have a lot of differences. If I may speak about, we have 450 different ways potatoes can be cooked in India. So you need to look at a diverse niche products and create and develop the market when you try to cater to India. To talk about home improvement category, it's one of the fastest growing category, expected to grow at 15 to 20%. Obviously at lower base, but I think the growth rate is much faster. Opportunities across all price quality segments. So there are people who are willing to buy expensive products, luxury products, and there are customers who want to buy economic products. We have a booming real estate business. I think right local partner would be key to success. We already import wallpaper, furnishing fabric, furniture, tableware, and variety of home decor products. And I think the confidence in India is showed by Amazon, where they have made large investment, including 6 fulfillment centers. IKEA is supposed to be investing 1.56 billion US dollar to set up 25 stores across India. So I think there is a general perception that we are going to be a very attractive economy for the long run, may not be for the short run. That's all I would say. Yes, short run, you have to be prepared to invest money and may not be able to take dollars, as Arun rightly said earlier. Coming to Indian consumer, I think there is a core traditional values, but it is changing with modern values. So we are upgrading our lifestyle. Utility, design, quality are acquiring significance. Probably earlier we were used to buying a cheap product, but now we also buy moderate price to expensive products. With a internet economy, global economy has become one economy. A lot of Indians travel abroad. They watch same Netflix and Amazon Prime across the world. We access to plastic money, credit card. So lifestyle is changing more so in favor of household products with the whole development, what's happening, and more after COVID. Having said that, we have one of the most demanding customers who like to speak, reason out, demand value. So one of the Nobel laureate wrote a book called Argumentative Indian, and it is reflected in buying behavior. So I think you need to build trust and product quality is very critical in Indian market, and you need to give a valid reason to buy your product at a higher price, and they buy. It is not that they don't buy. I'll give you an example also. They have upgraded to higher lifestyle when they see the value. Having said that, you need Indianized solution and unique value perception. So I take an example of double bed sheet set bedding category, where if you want to get $25 at purchase power parity from a different customers. So probably in Europe, you are 8 on fashion out of 10 and 6 on quality. You will be able to get $25. Maybe in the Middle East kind of market, you are maybe 6 on both, but you have been selling in a very expensive mall with an American or European brand name. You may get $25. In China, you maybe need to be 7 to 8 on a fashion and quality to get $25. Indian lady wants 9 out of 10 on both to spend those $25. I think that's the value what they are looking for, and they don't seek cheap products. So I have examples of Corel crockery, which is not cheap, or maybe lock and lock houseware plastic products. They are not cheap either. They've upgraded and they've paid the price because they saw the value. Maybe a small feature also means a lot to Indian customers. I think what is critical is find a differentiating value which is relevant to our customer, and do proper marketing with a right partner, or maybe your own setup in India, or maybe joint venture manufacturing, whatever works well to cater to this market. I was talking about Corel crockery. This was largely utility-driven market, whereby the competition for Corel was not just stainless steel. They had a green leaf as a competition in South India. They had melamine, and Corel was competing with all of that. And next glassware, they were 3 to 4 times more expensive. It's an American brand made in US glass, and they started in India 20 years back. And I think with a very limited marketing and but consistent being present through importers, they have been able to build 10 million US dollar business every year, and this has been happening for almost last 10 years. Of course, they could have done more, but they needed to invest in more in Indian market. So $10 million is not a small size with probably 3 importers giving you, but they have done some marketing, understood the Indian customer, and offered the right products in the right environment. Similarly, I think Lock and Lock from Korea is doing a good business in India, maybe at a similar level. So there has been a success story of not just the cheap products coming from, let us say, China or other parts of the world. In fact, we say whatever gets easily made in India or probably is not worth importing from any other market. But you need to offer a differentiated product when you want to cater to Indian market. And differentiation should be relevant to our customer and at a reasonable cost. Obviously, it cannot be at a commodity price. We are willing to pay the premium for the same. It is rapidly evolving in the sense that maybe 2004, if I may talk about, bed linen was bought like a commodity, and people used to pay $10 for double bedsheet set. But within 5 years, when a lot of companies started offering right products, $40 to $60 per set retail price was easy, just because there was a latent demand. Consumer wants to upgrade their home. They want a right marketeer and right retailer to sell the product to them. And that has already started. I think when we are talking in 2021, a lot of development has taken place after that. So I think when you look at India now, we are probably growing much faster. I think there's a case of extended small furniture. I see a lot of interest in furniture right now. I think Indians have been used to customize furniture, and it was hardly ready-made furniture before 2010. There was some market, but very small. Now, a lot of urban Indians have started ready-made furniture from stores like Home Center, which Sitaram Kumar presents that, or e-commerce websites. And there have been a bit of a standardized efforts in terms of sizes. And today, in India, consumers buy furniture more by lifestyle and aspirations, not just need. And there is a probably emphasis on buying a small furniture ready-made where they want quick change in interiors at a lower cost. And such revolution is expected in a lot of other categories like home decor, small furniture, and kitchenware, tableware. I think that's what we see happening in India. The biggest challenge was how to cater to India so far. I think in earlier times, we say we are the country of retailers and we had 90, probably more than 5 million retailers, out of which 96% were less than 500 square feet. So it was completely unorganized trade, which was very small. And today also this unorganized sector consists of 86% of the market, whereas modern retail like and e-commerce is contributing about 14% of the market. But this data would be slightly misleading. I think whatever comes out of Turkey would be a premium lifestyle products. And if I look at them, I think for each category, the share of modern retail is anywhere between 30 to 50%. So there are already very few companies like Amazon, Home Center. If you cater to them, you can cater to large population of India very easily, which was probably not there in India maybe 10 years or 15 years back. But now you can talk to some dependable partners in the Indian industry, and all of them have a scope to give access business of a large extent. I remember a case of I used to be associated for Jimmy, Italian company for I think a cloth drying stand, etc. for a few years, and I think that company was very aggressive. So they made a deal with one of the hyper chain in India called Big Bazaar, and they were buying 1 or 2 containers every month. Only thing was that the Italian company engineered a very good product at a very good cost competitive price, and I think they started the business. So I think a bit of aggression to develop India specific product can also lead to a larger business. And you have now modern retail, which is easy access to the market, which has probably been difficult in the earlier times. So this is a major change which has happened in India. The other good category about India has passed through a branded products boom in 94 to 2000, then retail boom came, then mall boom came, and now there is an e-commerce boom. I think home and kitchen category has bypassed the evolution, unlike apparel. Apparel fashion accessories have developed very well over last 30 years. But home and kitchen category did not witness the same. So I think 30 years of evolution is what you can experience in next 7 years, which is a huge leap which India is going to take in the times to come. And as I said earlier, modern retail has made life easier for you to approach Indian market. If I talk about post-COVID market, India had a lot of disruptions like demonetization and e-commerce evolution, banking crisis. There are quite a few things happened before 4 or 5 years, series of disruption, and COVID was the biggest disruption. Having said that, still the recovery is the fastest in India. We are likely to be probably majority of strong players, my friends, if I speak across industries like mattress, tableware, kitchenware, bedding, retailers, they all virtually come to pre-COVID level of business now. Of course, the weaker players will take some time, but I think strong players are becoming very strong and doing a good business as we speak right now, even after COVID, which has not really still gone from India. There is a lot of inclination towards home products with work from home, consumers spending more time at home, And I think home is another category which is likely to witness a good boom in the times to come, probably next 5 years. So I think all of us are in a good place right now to witness. I jokingly tell my friends that I came from a fashion apparel category and I found this market to be much smaller. I said the results and returns are disproportionate to efforts in this category so far. But post COVID, I can say this is the time where all of us have taken time to take fruits of all the efforts put in and make big business out of the home products. That's what I see happening post COVID. Finally, I think category is at inflection point. Inflection point is a place where which suddenly you will notice a very high growth. We have probably 30 years of baggage, which we are going to cover in next 7 to 10 years. 59 crores will reside in cities. Smart cities would be made by Government of India. Millennials they are willing to buy expensive products. What China witnessed in next 10 years is India going to witness in next 10 years. I mean, last 10 years of China is what India is going to be next 10 years, which is a huge marketplace to cater to if one looks at the opportunity. It may look at difficult to beginning because I think it will give a smaller volume to you and still expect a lower price from you. So I think at this point of time, if you invest your time and effort in developing this market, I think India is one of the best emerging markets because of sheer number of customers at mass to premium customers what we have. We are 1/6 of humanity and we are undergoing a significant upgrade in lifestyle for next 20 years. And there is still a less competition in home and kitchen market. We don't have many strong brands. We don't have many strong products. And there's a lot of latent demand where you start offering to customer and customers start buying because of utility, design, quality, and price. What I can say is that I have been studying FMCG, durable, or maybe fashion apparel industry. This kind of low competitive pressure and opportunity are very, very difficult, and you don't get such chances in your lifetime. I think it's good. It would be good if you of us take up a challenge to develop the market and be front runner within 5 to 7 years time as we speak. So I welcome to India. I think everybody would require presence in India. Question is not when. Question is when. Whether you start early. If you start early, you have easier entry. The more later you come, the entry cost would be higher. I think you must be prepared for unconventional routes like own office, own bonded warehouse, joint venture partner, joint manufacturing, customized product for India. I think don't come for short-term gains. If you try to do that, you will be very disappointed. So I would probably say, please come with a long-term perspective of understanding the market, investing in it, and willing to wait for 1 or 2 years before you start seeing the returns. Try to understand our customers. They are a bit different. Of course, each market is different, but I think they are not very bad customers. They understand value of utility and other features what they get from manufacturers. E-commerce and modern retail have made your entry pretty easy, and I think if you get a strong experienced players for the markets, I am sure you can work wonders. What I would say is that many times there is a averseness to invest more time and efforts. You feel somebody should buy, come at your home, buy in containers, and do everything else. I think that doesn't work well. That makes many times products pretty expensive. You need to invest more time and efforts. I think probably we welcome to India and probably discover the business. I am sure HGH India is one of the prime organizer of home exhibition. I think they would be a valuable resource to help you find how you can go ahead and help in developing Indian market. With this, I would like to end. Thanks a lot for listening me patiently. I hope my ideas were useful to you. I look forward for question and answer session if you have any. Thank you very much.
Mr. Rungta, you're on mute.
Sorry. Thank you, Ashish. Thank you for pointing that out. So thank you, Rajiv, once again for that presentation. I hope our audience found a lot of inputs in that for them. And now I would like to invite Mr. Ashish Dhingra, who, as I said, has been an importer himself, has been dealing with Turkey for long years, and brings in a very rich experience and very unique and innovative ideas with him. And I'm sure the audience would be able to get a lot out of his presentation. So he has been working in this category of carpets and houseware for many, many years. So over to you, Ashish. Please welcome.
Thank you, Mr. Rungta. Hello, friends. I am Ashish, and I've been importing centerpiece design rugs from Turkey, Gaziantep, the city of carpets, and they love the kebabs there. I've been buying carpets. It's how it started was that I was shown the way to Antep, where we started buying the rugs, and we started with very, very small quantities, and today we've been able to build up the market for those rugs. I'll take you through my PPT, and just a second. We are about 25-year-old importers importing different kind of products across the globe, and we are major partners with Turkey and China, Egypt, other countries also, but we're doing very well with imports from Turkey. Turkey is amongst the biggest manufacturers of centerpiece design rugs, and they have more than maybe 1,200 looms and in one city alone. India was it's amongst the largest importers in. It is well-established brand in India. It's about us. The Obsessions brand we built up over and selling over 1,000 stores across India. We have distribution networking. We have dealer networking. We have liaison offices in Delhi, Bombay, Bangalore, so that we are able to reach out to the consumers much efficiently. India is a very wide diverse in nature, in religion, taste, all different things. The tastes are absolutely different from south to north and east to west, and we need to reach out to the consumer, taking care of their each and every demands, their colors, their taste, the fashions, everything. So that's the reason we have offices across India, so that we can reach out to them. This is just a presentation for one of that we are diverse consumers, and we need to be reached out across, and we need to take each part separately in India. We are all different in our buying habits across India. And Turkish carpets across the country, however, since northern India is the major chunk where the carpets are consumed. But slowly and steadily, we are building up these markets across rest of the country also. It so happens that as Mr. Rajiv has already told you, that we are all 65% are more youngsters in India. So there is a lot of change of pattern in terms of fashion, in terms of taste, demands. So South is also not far from that. Now South is developing very fast in terms of demands. I'm talking in specific to carpets, because there was a specific question coming up that why is Southern India not consuming that much of carpets as Northern India? But Northern India is more a cold part of the country. That's one of the reasons only. But now across India, the demand is increasing for centerpieces. It's not that it's only sultry there or it's warm there, but it's consuming because it's more of a fashion product now. Anybody who's changing interiors these days is also changing carpets, and it's a fast way of changing your interior, the look in your room. Also, as more and more Indians are traveling and they're getting influenced by the home decor changes across the globe, so they want to adapt those kind of lifestyles. And as we are able to present them these products which are internationally available from Turkey, so it's a very very well accepted collection from there. The people here are more, the young generation is more assertive in their choices. They want to make changes fast. They want to customize it well, and they're also quick in taking decisions. You know, like earlier, carpets in India were taken as, you know, like a marriage. You're buying one and then your generations are living with it. But now, because it's an interior product, people want to change fast, and it's affordable, it's reasonably priced. So they are making those changes very fast. Maybe one household is making a change in rug in about another 3 years to 4 years time now. And because they are looking for value for money, Turkey is, as of now, because they are all under one roof, under one city, they're making so many carpet designs, collections. So they're able to give value for that particular product. And we are at par with the duty structures with China or rest of the other countries. So we are able to consume them here on a very you know, acceptable terms here by the consumers. The awareness of interiors has increased over the past 10 years, especially after the COVID lockdowns, as everybody is, you know, locked down at home, work from home culture is coming, and everybody wants to be in a nice, good environment with good interiors. So they are suddenly, after what we noticed was after COVID times, that there is a certain spurt in these interior houseware products, and they want to have improved home, better home to live, rather than going out and spending money on other things. They want to spend money on their home specifically. And with this, what is happening is there is a switchover which is coming from lower to a medium quality towards superior quality. They want better interiors, so they're ready to spend more money. They have more disposable income towards their home, and that is a very conscious effort that these all Indians are doing now. These are some of the products that we do from Turkey. This is just to have a view on them. We built up a collection looking into various different qualities, parameters, yarns, pile heights, and different product lines. This is the way we display here. We have the rack system, the Indian conventional podium systems with various different qualities. This is the other general products that we do. We are also looking at some kind of tie-ups from Turkey for our bath category, where we can get some value for money, good products, good quality, because that's what our motto is, that we want products which are value for money. We don't want cheap products, we want good value products. Turkey accounts for 65% of the global machine-made carpet production in the world, and 60% is from Gaziantep. The rest are like 5% only scattered in Turkey. So Gaziantep has more than 1,200 looms, and they have the widest collection of different kind of yarns, the weaving structures, the developments. Then even for the why they're cheap also over there is that they have the repairs also of the machines and everything under one city only. So they're not scattered that they have to call for somebody from some other place or what. So because all the factories under one city, they have the best of the yarns available. Even the yarn production centers are there. They have the best of the designers who are studying from Gaziantep itself and are being hired by the best of the factories. And these factories have invested a lot into this. We as in NVOG, we have been buying from Turkey with an average of about 15 to 20% when we started in the total turnover. But as in over time has gone, and this year we have grown up to 35 to 40% as on date. So this shows that we are growing as in terms of our purchases from Turkey, and the availability of product lines are better. Again, as I said earlier, there's no anti-dumping duties. The structure is the same as across the rest of the countries. So it's easier and well-priced products. As Turkey excels in carpets and other products, because there's so much of happening, as Rajiv ji has already conveyed you, that it's all gearing up for the next 20 years. So we are looking at different product lines which Turkey is excelling in: the kitchenware, the glassware. We are also very keen on working on these product lines for ourselves. We would like that, there were certain problems that we used to face when we were trying to build up the business with Turkey. That is, Turkish factories were not ready to adjust to or climatize themselves or adapt themselves to what the requirements for the Indian markets are. Like, say, for example, the sizes, the colorations, the requirements for different kind of packagings and things like that. I would suggest that the Indian market should be visited by Turkish factories so that they understand what the potential is of this country. I take my example. Say, for example, I've been working for 20 years, but in 20 years, not even a single factory from Turkey has visited me. One of the very important, my readings, I'm just categorizing it specifically for rugs. Turkey is developing only centerpiece design rugs. There's a lot of scope in the rest of the product lines, like wall-to-wall broadloom tiles, which are being made only by China or by Belgium, Europe. Turkey is not at all developing over there. Turkey is only doing centerpiece, centerpiece, and centerpiece. Maybe they are overloaded with orders from the rest of the world, but that is one, because everybody's coming for carpets, for sure they will also come for these product lines. So my suggestion to you is that you should ask the factories to come out with collections of broadlooms, tiles with excellent qualities. They have a lot of focus on innovation already. So to customize themselves for the Indian market, they will have to do further innovations into the Indian requirements. The only way I see, as Rajivji just said, that how they can tap the Indian market, because it's so diverse, that they need to come to India, they need to visit us, they need to see who are the correct partners to work with, take out more information about them, understand them. And this doesn't just happen in 1 or 2 visits. It happens when you start customizing the products according to the requirements of the importer, or joint venture in which you understand the partner well. That's all from my side. Thank you very much for listening.
Thank you very much, Ashish. I think a lot of insights there from your experience in dealing with Turkey, and a very telling fact you shared is that in 20 years, nobody from Turkey visited you, despite being, I think, importing half of India's machine-made carpets. So, well, I'm sure things will improve. That is why we are here today. And now I'm inviting our friend, Mr. Sitaram Kumar. Mr. Sitaram Kumar brings with him a lot of retail experience. Undoubtedly, Home Center is considered as one of the most dynamic chain in India and has been growing very fast. I think, of course, Sitaram would be able to correct me, but I think today they have over 45 stores in India, if I'm not wrong. But Sitaram, please correct me if I'm wrong there. And over to you. And I'm sure you will bring in the retailer's perspective and retailer's experience. And you've been importing from Turkey as well, so and from other countries. So I'm sure audience is waiting to hear from you. Over to you, Sitaram.
Thank you, Mr. Unta. Can you see the presentation?
Yeah.
Yes, yes, I can.
Hello, everyone. I think Rajiv and Ashish has given a perspective of what a market looks like and what the challenges or what the advantages that an importer can face through a Turkey business. From a retailer perspective, I would like to simply talk about what we are first, so that gives a larger interest in terms of what you can do. We operate in both 2 channels. One is Home Center and homecenter.com. It's a global company between Middle East and India. I'm sure many of you work with our Middle East and retailer stores, as well as the Indian stores. So this is how our typical stores look like. Currently, we have 54 stores across 20 plus cities. The categories that we work in are furniture, homeware, and modular furniture. Our average size of store is anywhere between 24,000, and the largest size that we have is 48,000 square feet. So just to give a perspective on the homeware, we typically work on 6 categories, which is decor, kitchen, tabletop, soft furnishings, bath and laundry, and floor coverings. So when it comes to each and every department, we work with multiple materials and multiple categories. For example, if I work with decor, I work with a lot of glass. We work with a lot of metal, ceramic, polyresin, and wood. So there are multiple materials that we've been put together in the decor category. When it comes to kitchen, it's an end-to-end solution that we provide in our stores, right from cookware, right from preparing, cooking, and serving. So that's the whole process that we follow on the kitchen as a department. And we ensure that we make the homemaker's life easy by offering a complete solution with the category. So tabletop is something which we are again very strong in. We work with different materials, right from stoneware, earthenware, bone china, porcelain, and ironstone, and melamine. So there are many materials that we work in our tabletop segment. And then glassware is one of the biggest category. We work with China. We work with Turkey. We work with Thailand. So colored glassware and the soda lime glassware we import from China, Turkey. Soft furnishing is one of the biggest department where we do a private label and a brand partnership with a couple of leading brands in the country. In soft finishing, we work with a lot of different qualities of bedding in terms of starting from 144 TC going up till 300 TC bed sheets, and we do a complete top of the bedding collection for the customers. Bath and laundry is a category wherein we do entire towels, right from Egyptian cotton to the Indian cotton towels, but we don't do Turkish towels as of now. And laundry is one of the biggest category, and partly in the laundry we source from Turkey as well in terms of the plastics. And floor covering is another category that we work in the homeware. So this is how our stores look like. This is our soft finishing department look. And we also work on furniture. We are one of the biggest department in furniture in India. We source majorly from China, Malaysia, and Vietnam. We just started to source from Turkey. We just started to connect with some of the suppliers for sofa cum beds and the bedroom sets. So in bedrooms, we work with beds, wardrobes, dressers, and mirrors. Living, sofa, center table, end tables, and the curios. Dining tables, we work with dining tables, shades, and buffets. Garden furniture, kids furniture, and cash and carry furniture. So that's what we do in our furniture. These are the current categories that we source from Turkey. Colored glassware is what we source from Turkey, which is exactly what is shown in the picture. A plastic in the laundry segment is what we source from Turkey. Clear glass is again we source from Turkey. So this is how our social media activations are in terms of imagery and in terms of the way we go to market proposition. So the opportunities that we can import from Turkey as a retailer are sofa cum beds, bedrooms in furniture, in homeware, plastics, home decor, glassware, kitchenware, textiles, towels, bedding and blankets, carpets and cookware. And some of the challenges, like Ashish mentioned, I have some of them the same as well. Some of the advantages are, be it as an importer, if I import from China or if I import from Turkey, it's the freight remains same. Import duties are same from China. Lead time is more or less very similar to China, which is almost like 4 days different from China to Turkey. You have one of the great quality products. Some of the things that as manufacturers you need to work upon, or the challenges that currently we tend to face while working with Turkey is the design tweak is very, very important when you actually start proposing things into the Indian market, because that's where we face a huge challenge, because some of your designs are either to your local market or to other markets which are relevant of that particular design. But when you actually come into India, the as these designs sometimes might not work, you need to tweak a certain bit of it so that it will be more apt for the market. Glassware and all is very easy. Glassware, plastic and all is very easy, especially when you come into your bedding or into your furniture. It's important to tweak the designs. Product innovation, I think Ashish had spoke on the same subject. I think product innovation is something which is a big challenge. You continue to do a very similar product time and again. I think we need to push you to change your designs. We need to get innovation into the business. Otherwise, it will become challenging. One thing which is a challenge when compared to AFTA countries and Turkey is the like-minded products. If I take a chipboard furniture, if it is coming from Malaysia and if it is coming from Turkey, the AFTA countries, we have a zero duty, and wherein the prices, the shipments from Turkey will be with 24-25% duty. So that makes your prices higher. So FOB prices are higher from Turkey when compared to the similar material prices, which we source sometimes either from local India or from other parts of the country or the world. So similar categories are made in India with a lesser cost advantage. That you need to see how do you tackle that. And Mr. Rungta was telling that in his presentation, there's a huge opportunity of towels which are produced in India, but why can't the Turkey towels come into India? So I think the cost advantage is something what you need to showcase, both from an FOB as well as a landing point of view. That's when we would be more keen in importing products from Turkey. The biggest concern, other than the product innovation, what we see is there's a lot of resistance from anything. Packaging is the biggest concern. Our stores are almost 70-75% comes in color boxes. Now, to get a color box for the product from Turkey is a humongous task. I think there's too much of resistance from the supplier's point of view, and the cost of packaging is sometimes same as the product. In many of the scenarios, we've noticed that the cost of packaging is very much same as the product. I think your ecosystem on packaging has to be really, really worked upon so that, it becomes easy for retailers like us so that we can present it as a complete solution. Otherwise, the challenges are that, everything cannot be taken in bulk, and especially the glassware cannot be taken in bulk. It needs a certain amount of packaging. Flexibility in MOQs, I think that's something which is very important. If you are entering into markets, new markets and new partners, because if we have to try something new from yourself, it is important for you to be flexible on your MOQs so that it becomes easier for us to try, even though it's expensive, or is it relevant or not relevant to the market. So these are the some of the pros and cons that we face with importing Turkey. But otherwise, the opportunity is huge. India is a large country. It's, different products that you do in your country are apt for our market as well. But the whole idea is, how do we understand to penetrate into the market in terms of the design tweak, product innovation, FOB prices being sharp, and being flexible on your MOQs and packaging. So I think if these are coming in place, I think it's a much larger opportunity. And then, yes, as Ashi said, it's important for you to come to India, create joint business partners, and push the categories into the country in terms of how you can compete with rest of the world. Thank you very much. That's my presentation.
Thank you very much, Sitaram. I think wonderful. I hope the audience had a complete 360 degrees view of Indian market, from branding to export to distribution and retail. I think they've had, because I've got some of the very interesting questions also from the audience here. And be prepared, I think, my fellow panelists, because I think the people have been listening to you very carefully. This is one thing I can tell you from the questions, that have been coming in. So based on all the inputs that I'm getting from the audience, I think I'm going to be talking to you for next few minutes. So one question, Rajiv, first of all, to start from you, that Rajiv, are you there? Can I? Rajiv?
Yeah, hi.
Yeah, can I have? Yeah, sorry. So question to you, Rajiv, is that you said that people should come to India with a 10 to 15 year perspective or 20-year perspective. But I'm sure most people are in business and they would also like to know what happens in 2 to 5 years. Because 10 to 15 years maybe sometime. So it's all right. That's the right perspective for the Indian market. But what they need to do in a shorter period of like 2 to 5 years or 1 to 3 years, so that where do they begin?
I think 2 to 5 years, they would definitely start seeing the real returns in the second year. I think what they need to do is that maybe tweak a bit in terms of differentiated packaging, differentiated costs, or differentiated features, or maybe MOQ in the beginning are compromised without asking for a very high upcharge. If there are some investments are being done in the first year, I'm sure second year onwards, it's not a negative business. But yes, if you really want to take a bigger upside, whereby you want to say, okay, business becomes sizable or India contributes maybe 10% or 20% of the business, that is where you need a longer perspective. But I think returns can start coming maybe in the second year itself, if not in the first year.
Okay. And here is a question for you. I think because you have been a retailer yourself, and you have been totally, I think most of the products that you have been selling in Home Center are under your own brand, Home Center, right? You have been selling very few outside brands. I'm not saying that you don't, but majority of it has been. And Turkey has had its own history its own culture of number of single brand stores like Home Center or IKEA or on those lines. So Turkey has its own Schaffer, Karaka, Madam Coco, English Home, Kokmaz, so which have been very popular home stores with big chain. So what is the possibility of such chains coming and being successful in India? And what would you say as a retailer with a very similar experience?
Yeah,
is there room more competitors for you?
Definitely, there's a more room for the business in India. I think India is a large country with huge population and consumption. I think the most important part is relevance from the merchandise point of view, design, and the price. So if you're entering into the market, you need to understand what is the relevance of you as a mono brand, is important from a merchandise design and price point of view. And then what is the USP that you are bringing into the country against an existing retailers? I think that is very, very important, because what is the solution that you're trying to provide in your home segment? What is the service that you would be trying to do by trying to be with the ecosystem in the Indian market? And the first and foremost important to come in India also is what is the strength of these mono brands? In terms of if they're doing a multi-category mono brand, it is important for them to understand how much of their merchandise is made where, because it's not going to be easy to sustain in India if your 100% of merchandise is coming as an import. So it's important for them to understand what percentage of business is coming from which parts of this world. I think that makes
saying that in case they want to enter the Indian market as retailers or as retail brands, they must be prepared to do some percentage or maybe even up to half or more of their sourcing locally from the Indian manufacturers.
Absolutely, Mr. Rongta, because that will make them ease to work in this country and also makes their P&L much stronger. So, and then the second thing I would also say that, it's very important for them to do at least a 5 to 10% regional tweaks when coming from south to north. When you're getting into the country, you can't cut and copy and paste the formula across the country. I think that is something which is very important. And it's important for them to understand what is the pyramid of this country. What is the high income, what is the middle income, and what is the low income. And then on the basis of that, if they're able to position themselves better, I think that is where they can win the market. But definitely, it's a huge market. The consumption is huge. We welcome people into the country with these mono brands. But then they have to keep these into mind, because there'll be some definitely entry barriers.
Thank you. Thank you, Sitaram. Ashish ji, I think a lot of Turkish friends have a concern, especially when you said that India wants to protect its local industry and therefore it imposed higher duty. It increased from 10 to 20% on carpets. So do you see that with these higher duties also there is a room for Turkish products to still come and compete in this market? And if yes, why do you think so? That why, despite higher duty, why would the Turkish be able to still export when we all say that India is going to be big in imports? So how do you justify that? And why do you think that despite higher duties, that will escalate the retail prices also, that Indian consumer will still buy the product?
See, basically, we are trying to compare machine-made rugs with handmade rugs over here. Handmade rugs in India are need to be protected because it's more of the it's good for them to export from here. That's why the production happens here in India, and import is basically for the Indian market. So they don't want that the local factories over here, the handmade carpets, they need to be protected. So that's the reason the import duties have been increased. It's not that they are doing it for some other reason. As far as the products are concerned, yes, they will keep on selling in India because there is demand for this, and there is no factory here who is making quality products like
so
machine made.
saying, I understand, is that in any case, the handmade rugs are far more expensive than the machine-made rugs.
The price gap is very high.
They are still much cheaper than the machine-made rugs to the consumer in consumer's hand. And therefore, competing is not really a big issue.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Thank you very much. And here, because we are on carpets and rugs, Ashish ji, you mentioned that in your presentation that South is also opening very well for the carpets. I would also like to add a little perspective on that. See, earlier, I think also this big perception about North being a big market in India for carpets is also because earlier the carpets always used to be made out of wool, primarily woolen carpets we used to have. You know, but now carpet itself has become more of polyester and more of polypropylene and other fibers. So, which is not as warm as wool is, and you know, they are more climate friendly also, which are easily. And secondly, homes in India are becoming more and more air conditioned. So, southern homes are no more hot and humid as they used to be.
Exactly.
So that's another reason why the market demand for carpets in South is also opening up very rapidly, because now it's more the beautification and interior design which is driving, as we said, lifestyle which is driving rather than just the need for the carpet.
It's not only the tier 1 cities, you know, it's the tier 3 and the tier 4 cities which are basically growing. The demand is growing there too. And I'm talking in totality across. So that's also one of the reasons why sales in South are also improving.
Okay. And another question that we have here for you again, Ashish, that how do you consider the expectation of Indian importers and retailers in design demand by Indian consumers? That means when you say that the expectations are different, what do you mean?
Could you come again, please?
The design expectations of Indian market are different from rest of the world. Can you explain in one of the examples?
Say for example, Bombay. Like Bombay have small houses. So the size of the rug in that house, the room sizes are smaller. So the rug size has to be smaller. They cannot put a bigger size of a rug in their house, which has smaller rooms. But if you see Bombay, financially, if you talk, it's a financial city. It has loads of money. It has lot of potential. They can buy one of the best of the qualities, but they cannot buy a bigger size. So they need to be customized according to the requirement of the size. So when we talk to the factories that they need to customize is in terms of sizes also.
So we might giving them the MOQs.
Even when you give them the MOQs also, even after that, they have these issues.
Okay.
Biggest issue also that we face is the packaging. What Mr. Sitaram said was perfectly right. When you talk to them about packaging, the price is very high, very high.
And where both you and Sitaram meant, sorry, yeah.
Say for example, I'm talking about a rug also. The other packagings are different. You know, even in a rug, if you want to put 2 end caps on a rug, the price is $1 per square meter extra, just for putting the end caps. Yes. So this is very.
In fact, this is a question which I am a little perplexed hearing both you and Sitaram, that packaging and labeling are such big issues with Turkish export.
Labeling is also a very big issue. Very big issue.
This is something which buyers all over the world ask. It's not only the Indian buyers that are asking for something special. I'm sure if you deal with a Walmart, you deal with an IKEA, you deal with a Target, or Bed Bath Beyond, anywhere in the world, I'm sure, or any of the European buyers, they all ask for packaging and of their own specification, or the sorts of their own specifications, because they also want to directly send the lots to different stores within their chain. So am I right, Sitaram? Yeah, please.
Yeah, what I feel, Mr. Rumta, the three challenges which I see on the packaging side, one, I feel there's resistance comes because maybe the labor is expensive. Second is the printing costs are expensive. Maybe the ecosystem is not ready. The craft paper for the boxes is expensive again because the ecosystem is not ready. I think these are the three areas, the Turkish suppliers have to work upon in terms of trying to create an ecosystem where the prices comes down. Otherwise it becomes very, very difficult. Every time you can't take in bulk.
Mhm. Okay. And
Can I say something? This generally happens because there is lack of trees in that particular country.
okay.
Because they don't have paper.
Okay, interesting. So, okay, just last question, and then I hand over to Mr. Aydin. That is for Rajiv. Rajiv, you said that finding right distribution partner in India is the key. Finding the right partner is very important. Why do you say that, and how do you explain that? What do you mean by why Turkish people should find Turkish exporters should find the right Indian partners? Can you explain that a little bit more, and why it is important?
So I think the basic reason is, first of all, it's development efforts. And typically, most of the time when you have distributors, they are used to taking the ready product and servicing the market. They are not putting efforts for the developmental phase. So I think a company principal based in Turkey as well as distributor, I think both should be ready to put in developmental efforts of the year one to develop the market. And if you don't do so, actually you're not going to step two only. So I think that is where a partnership, and maybe sometimes you need to do a joint venture to do a cost saving, or maybe some local manufacturing. There are different ways, but you need to study each segment, figure out what is the right formula, and then work out a right solution. It's not a cut and paste solution whereby, because Walmart and Costco and others, they give a big volume, you just produce for them in tons and sell it as per their requirement, or you make your standard products and service to any part of Europe. I think this requires a bit of challenging efforts. I think that is where you need a right partner with a right vision to work with a long term, because year one maybe company may not make money, your distributor may not make money, so finally reward comes later time.
Thank you very much, Rajiv. Thank you very much, Ashish and Sitaram. I think over to you, Mr. Aydin, for taking the proceedings further.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Arun. And I will forward some questions to you and to our other speakers. The first question will be about exhibitions in India. So far, we have approached many Turkish companies and also we have invited them to India to show their products, and we really believe Turkey is the under potential in home and kitchen sectors. And when we approach them, they are generally saying we have participated in home exhibitions in India in the last years, then stopped coming to India since we started to think home exhibitions are not very productive for us to go far in the Indian market. Then they are asking again, how shall we use the exhibitions and offline meetings very efficient manner to leverage the market potential? And also there is one question related to this offline promotion. I still think exhibitions are very important now because of the travel limits and pandemic and corona. The situation is still uncertain, but the vaccination is on the way and has been done by many countries, and we will see the potential of physical promotion again, which I believe. And the other question would be, while the uncertainties on international travel are still going on, how can we make branding in the Indian market? So I have two questions to Mr. Arun. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Aydin. I think to answer your questions, the first question first, I can share my own experience because we do organize our own show at GH India, and we have had Turkish exhibitors there as well, besides in many other shows. See, it's not that, frankly, we have had exhibitors not only from Turkey, but from 32 other countries as well. You know, including the European, the Chinese, European on the higher end, and the Chinese and the American and the Japanese exhibitors. Now, we ourselves have been a little intrigued by the fact that the Turkish exhibitors did not get the desired response. But first of all, this is the perception, because we know of Turkish exhibitors who have actually succeeded in finding Indian partners, you know, through this show itself. You know, those who have appointed distributors, those who have found the OEM supplies contracts of such large scale that they thought did not come to the show anymore, because now they have a partner who's going to buy more than their own target for Indian market. So, but yes, having said that, I would like to give a little more detailed explanation, because see, home and houseware is a very wide category. Now, it's a question of, for example, most of the exhibitors in our experience, for example, came in with plastics, you know, and very few from kitchen tools, kitchen appliances, you know, very few from other general houseware, for example, which Turkey makes very well. Nobody from furniture, for example, nobody from home textiles and furnishing sector at all. So, see, typically the Turkey has not really done enough homework in spreading its variety of products. It's been just one single product focused, plastics. And if I don't understand that if Lock and Lock can sell here, Glass Lock can sell here, if Tescoma can sell here, if you know, Umrah can sell here, if Coral can sell here, then why the Turkish, or on the more expensive, for example, we did not even see many glassware companies from Turkey, which is such a good market and which is fast growing market. So probably, I think it is more to do with the product mix that has come so far, and it is more to do and also consistency, because I think with international show organizers, everybody knows that it takes at least 3 participations for any company to really get noticed on the international platform. If you come once and then you decide, you know, oh, I didn't get any business, so I'm not going to repeat myself. Obviously, people like Sitaram Kumar and Rashish are not going to like that. If they don't see a supplier consistently at the show, I'm sure they would really have questions about the reliability. So I suppose it has been a little, I would say, short-term vision of the market, which is what I think is the key reason for why they are facing this kind of a situation. Coming to the second part, the travel restrictions, I think India seems to be far more liberal. We are hearing that by next month we should have international flights started into the country already. Domestic flights are already there. Local transport are already there. Government has officially allowed organizing of trade shows through a new notification with effect from 1st of February. So I think things in India are opening up much faster than any other country that we know. We have already 4 million people vaccinated in a matter of 17, 18 days. And the speed is going at 500,000, nearly 500,000 every day. We are adding more vaccinated people. So I do see that the situation is much better and improving much faster than most people outside India would like to believe, both on travel as well as on trade opportunity.
Thank you very much. And also, can you tell us about the coming shows? I think it is in this June, the coming HH show. Now you have decided to organize the show for this year. Last year, you had to cancel the exhibition because of Corona, but now I think it will be on the way.
Sure. Last year, I think the whole world had to cancel, but this year we are not only very optimistic, we are well on a good firm footing. We have more than 300 exhibitors already confirmed for the show coming up in June, which is a 4-day show, 8th to 11th of June, 2021. And I think most important, more than we wanting to organize, more than the exhibitors wanting to exhibit, I think what the response that we are getting is from the buyers, from the retailers, because last 3-4 months have been so strong with the retail buying in India in the home category that many of the stores have lost sales because they did not have sufficient goods to sell. And I'm sure maybe Sitaram will also vouch for this if he's around still. So
Mr. Rudra, if I can add, sorry to interrupt. I think last 3 months from the time of Diwali, which is the biggest festival in India, from a 95% recovery in the Jan, we are almost close to 105% recovery. So that means I think we're already 5% more than the previous year. I think the consumption has been amazing. Just that we're all struggling with supplies. So I think if that was there, I think we would have touched 110, 115 plus.
Exactly. Thank you very much. So see, the opportunity in India is real in the home category. And I'm sure, Ashish, you would have had a similar experience on that.
Absolutely correct. Absolutely. I'm with Mr. Sitaram on this.
And Rajiv, you too as a brand?
Yeah, I think those who can supply, I think they are having good time. Getting a right supply on time is becoming a challenge for all. Otherwise, if you ask me honestly, whatever I'm making, 90% of it is out of stock within 20 days, which I never witnessed in my last 25 years.
So this is, I hope this encourages our friends in Turkey.
Yeah, thank you. So I have been living in India for 1.5 years, so I can easily perceive your comments and your valuable info on the market. And I am a permanent customer of Home Center here in Mumbai, so I can easily understand how your product segments is very broad. But I didn't know you have some plastic material, plastic items sourced from Turkey. It is another thing. So we have one question from Berivan Yilmaz. Is the Indian market suitable for selling bakery equipments? I think this question will be to Mr. Kumar.
Yeah, I think if you have seen in my second slide, we've got a 4 running meter bakeware planogram. I think bakeware has been one of the best categories in the kitchen for the last 4.5 years. With COVID coming in, I think the growth is much higher in the bakeware because, a lot of women, men and kids, everyone's had baking at home. I think that category is growing at the space of 300 to 400% year on year for the last 4 years. It's an amazing category to be in.
Yes, and any more questions? Now I am just checking all questions, and I would like to eliminate some questions because they are not sector related. Just I'm checking again.
I cannot hear.
Now we have okay, so we have one question from Sir Gürkan Kızılcan from Love Company. As Love Glass, we are a tabletop glassware producer and searching for long-term business partners in India for a while. The issue is we couldn't get any replies from Indian Chamber of Commerce or Bombay Chamber of Commerce. Main issue is to find a strong and long-term partner. We are always in contact with several companies time to time, but they vanish after a while or don't focus. We are aware of the market size and eager to grow in the market with an esteemed partner as a distributor, but can't overcome the connection problems. How can this be solved? Thank you. Mr. Gürkan's question is very broad question and is very related question in the sector. So any one of our speakers can reply, because now we have seen the decision makers of Indian companies. They are with us, so maybe they can comment on how to make business with Indian companies, how proper Turkish company can approach to Indian buyer. We can get your advice on how to communicate with Indian companies in general sense. Thank you.
So I think I would like to reply this. First of all, I think this you need to go through the right channel partner, and that's why I took liberty to say I think HGH India is a good platform. Maybe if you can connect with Mr. Arun and his team, because I think Chamber of Commerce handles many industries. For them, home is not a priority, whereas HGH India is in the business of home houseware products only. So I think they might give a better justice to you than maybe a general purpose other platforms. That's one. Number two, I think when it comes to import, again, some kind of compatibility with a supplier and wholesaler has to be done. Sometimes what happens is, if a wholesaler is good for a mass goods and a Turkish brand is a premium brand, then there maybe somewhere down the line they might lose their interest. Secondly, I think if anyway, I assume most of the products will be in the middle to premium categories which are coming from Turkey. So you need to find a right partner who can give justice to these categories. And again, I think maybe instead of waiting for mail, email, or maybe phone communication or Chamber of Commerce, best is to visit one or two shows, meet customers, discuss with them, get a first-hand experience, get some references from other friends in the industry when you make them, or maybe get a reference from HGH India, and then I think you can deal with them. And secondly, I think it is not just wholesaler. When it comes to Amazon or when it comes to home center, you can deal directly with them. But I think it may be difficult to individually to go to them and make a presentation. But if you are present in a good show, they typically visit and they explore new products. But you know, they are also very busy. They also have, I think I heard from Sitaram just some time back, they have 7,500 SKUs to purchase. So it may be difficult that if you write to them, it may not be easy unless you give a very strong pitch of what you are good at. And if you can convince them, I am sure they would look at it. And there you don't need any distribution partner. You can deal with them directly.
Thank you.
Rajiv, what you said is absolutely right, that you need specialists approach, and the Chambers of Commerce, why they did not get response from Chamber of Commerce is not because of their lack of specialization, I suppose, nothing else. So as Rajiv said, I'm in agreement with him, the approach that he suggested.
And they also need to find the correct partner to work with. That is also very important.
Very important.
Unless they come and look around and see who the correct partner to work is, they will never be successful. They need to analyze themselves first. Just writing email and thinking that this other person would be responding is not correct.
And you are very correct.
And also sometimes writing an email, we don't know who's that other person, right? That's also important. So unless until you physically be there and talk to a person, it'll not make sense, because there'll be so many mails coming to us as buyer, in terms of offering their products. Now, who is genuine, whom we had relationship with, what is the product strength, what is the pricing. So one email will not start making the business. I mean to say that.
You are correct.
Yeah.
And I will ask you the last questions, because now we are running out of time. So we have one more question from Arkın Tezcan. He would like to know the chance of silicone kitchenware products for the Indian market. silicone kitchenware products. I think this question would be to Mr. Kumar again.
Yeah, so it's a similar category in the silicone ware. There are a lot of items which come in the bakeware segment. I think silicone category is very good. Currently, we do a lot from China, slowly exploring in India. So definitely we would be keen to import, provided the pricing and all are competitive. As I said, the freight and the duty structures are same as China. So provided your prices are competitive, the category is huge, the opportunity is huge for silicone. Either silicone bakeware, silicone gadgets, anything in silicone.
Yes, and also we have very proper manufacturing capacity in this category. I'm very sure about this. We have many more companies, and thank you very much. So now today we have discussed Indian home and kitchen market with the real experts in India. So they are from very established companies. And I don't want to spend much more time to summarize the main points. The points are already available, and this video record will be posted on the YouTube channel of the Turkish Ministry of Trade. And in the end, I will also post presentation copy in the chat section, so you can easily download it. Thank you very much for our all speakers, Mr. Ashish, Mr. Rajiv, Mr. Kumar, and again, Mr. Arun. Thank you very much for your cooperation with our office so far. So you are very helpful, and you and your team have dedicated very much time to organize all the presentation and all our distinguished speakers. And in the last, we can get your final points before closing the session. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Aydin. I think we have tried to be as comprehensive as possible from various angles, and the kind of questions that have come up from the audience tells me that they have been listening to all the speakers very intently, and they have a fairly well-developed interest in the Indian market. I hope that this continues, and I hope that the experience of my friends like Ashish and Sitaram Kumar really becomes even better than what it has been dealing with Turkey, and more products start coming to India. The potential, as we've all seen, is real, and the opportunity is now. So when we say it is now, it begins now. It doesn't end now. You know, it begins now, and it keeps becoming bigger and bigger and better with every passing year over the next 20 years. So this is how our Turkish friends need to look at Indian market. It's as a long-term perspective. I think that's very important to take a long-term and a focused perspective on India. I would suggest that Turkish exporters should visit India more often. As again, getting reminded, she said that in 20 years nobody has visited. You know, so that's a very rare thing to happen in international trade. You know, because in India we have exporters who visit their buyers at least 4 times a year. You know, or either the buyer comes or he goes.
Mr. Rungta, because I am traveling 4 times to Turkey, they're not coming.
Then probably you not invited them for the Indian dinner then. Probably you like the Turkish baklava, I suppose.
Mr. Rongta, I'm interrupting. I think nowadays the civil aviation puts the biggest block between an obstacle in front of your potential partners and sellers. So as soon as it gets better, we are expecting more Turkish companies physically in the fairs.
No, I'm not only talking of fairs. I'm talking even meeting the buyers. You know, so we're not discussing specific context of fairs here. We are just simply saying that the exporters need to visit the retail stores. They need to meet the importers.
Yes.
They need to interact with them, even when there are no fairs. This is what I'm trying to say. So
yes.
365 they should understand they should probably come here for visit the malls, for example.
Yes. This is what we have advising since the first time we came to this office. Come and visit India. Turkish Airlines has a direct flight from Istanbul to Mumbai and New Delhi. So it's only take 6 hours. So India is very close. So you should come and see and touch whatever you need. See whoever you need. So this is the basic term, and the rest will come.
Yeah. So I would like to thank you, Mr. Aydin, very much for giving us this opportunity, for making this presentation and connecting with our Turkish friends. And it has been a good experience for all of us. So I thank on behalf of my other fellow speakers as well, and look forward to greater relationship. And I would like to thank my panelists, Rajiv, Sitaram Kumar, and Mr. Ashish Dhingra, all of you, for sparing your time and effort. I think it has been a very, very well worked out presentations. I would think so. And I would also like to thank my own HGS India teams, particularly Mr. Vikas Sood, Pooja Negi, and the rest of the team who have worked very hard. Actually, they are not here on the scene in the presentation, but I'm sure all of us know that they have done a wonderful job in terms of acquiring information, presenting it, and we are just the faces. So thank you, Vikas, thank you, Pooja, and thank you, rest of the team. And we look forward to more such opportunities of working together. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Have a good evening to everyone. Thank you very much to all participants. And as I said in the beginning of the session, we wanted to organize this webinar just to increase the awareness of our Turkish companies into India market. So the potential is very evident. First, we always advise you should come to India and you should see the retailers, you should see the market, you should participate exhibitions in multiple sectors, not only in home sectors. Then you can understand the motivation behind the market. Thank you very much again. Have a nice evening, everyone. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you for your attendance. Thank you.
Thank you.